Our ladies' room presents today our speaker Federica Gazzaloni about Git and GitHub. So a disclaimer, this talk is recorded and will be posted on our YouTube channel. Please remember that all our attendees are expected to adhere of code of conduct. Raise your hand and use the chat for you to introduce yourself and asking questions. Feel free to turn off your cameras if you don't want to be recorded. We ensure a safe, inclusive, and harassment-free space for learning. So, welcome everyone. We are thrilled to have you join us today. I'm happy to welcome you to our January event. I'm Rafaela, and get ready for engaging and informative experience. So, what to expect from this talk? Understand what Git and GitHub are, explore basic Git commands, build and leverage Git skills, enhance workflows, and some tips and tricks. So to remember, what is Our Ladies? It's a global art community with an inclusive environment focused on diversity, with free learning resources, network, and mentoring. It's a local of worldwide chapters. So here are our Ladies Room organizers, Federica, me, and Lucy Michaels. So who we are? A global chapter for promoting art and gender diversity. We welcome all art proficiency levels, and we are a community over 2K members. So what we do, are practical workshops and expert talks with about data visualization, Git, GitHub, machine learning, and other more. So we develop our skills through a collaborative learning environment, and we are sponsored by our consortium. So, talking about size, we have more than 2K community. We have engagement of 4.7 rating, almost 5. And we have been doing for more than 40 events. Okay, so join us and follow us. If you want to suggest a speaker or become a speaker, please let us know, send a text, or you can use this QR code. So thank you, everyone, and welcome, Federica.
Thank you, Rafaela.
How can I come back? Here. Okay.
Okay. So welcome, everyone. Today, we are going to talk about Git, GitHub, practical version control for data work. A bit about myself. My name is Federica Gazzelloni. I am the one of the Our Ladies Rome chapter organizer. I'm a statistician with specialization in actuarial science. I love all things data science, data analytics, data visualization, modeling. I take part to various challenges related to making maps with R, doing data visualization and things, as well as other investigations. You can, if you are curious, you can have a look at my website, which is as well as portfolio with all things, as well as books and things that I have been building up along the way at federicagazzelloni.com. So the agenda for today looks like a bit like simple, straightforward, but it's going to be very intense. And I think that we see what's going to happen, but we might need a pause along the way. Please stay focused and play with me. We are going to see and understand what is Git, what is GitHub, and we are going to experience the advantages of a version control system, as well as the usage within a team work environment. So what is Git? Okay, Git, it is language. It is a series of commands So Git is definitely not GitHub. There are two things. The creator who made it, who did this useful tool, Linus Torvalds. So Linus Torvalds is the creator of Linux. So I guess everyone knows about Linux. So we have various systems, okay, in particular 3 systems. Okay, we have Windows, Macintosh, and a Linux. So Linux has been invented in 1991, and it is an open source system. So this is what differentiates Linux from the others. And so basically you can use Linux even with the oldest machine ever. Okay, it's very customizable and everything. The Linux kernel, which is the root causing for inventing Git, you can imagine the kernel as a universe, okay, within this operating system, okay? And so the Linux kernel is the core of this operating system. And so here comes this new tool, Git, which has been created in 2005 as a distributed version control system created to manage Linux kernel to development. And now it is the world's most popular version control system. So we are going to dig a bit deeper on this one. So the origin of Git, what Git, the word Git, the name Git is British slang for unpleasant person. So why you said it, why should it name a tool such as useful as this one as a acronym for an unpleasant person? So Linus Torvalds basically had a bit of like ongoing things, okay, and in one of his interviews that you can easily find on YouTube, and you have the link in the latest slide ever of this presentation with the resources. He said, I literally had no choice. We needed something, and we need it now. If Beekeeper hadn't pulled our license, I probably never would haven't written Git. So now, what is Bitkeeper? So that was accidental, the creation of this tool, okay? He made it in 10 days because he needed. So he was in a situation in which, so we have version controls. So you can imagine like Word files, and I recall very oldest versions of Word had this version collection of things. So anytime you made a change, you save it, Word save it a version of it. Then you eventually could go back and eventually restate what the changes that you made. And so Beekeeper is one of those ones. So it's a version control, but that was proprietary, so not open source. But at the time it was open source, so free to use for Linux. Okay, so who managed the Linux kernel? So that sustained the operating system of Linux. So this kernel was sustained by Beekeeper, that was proprietary and free. At some point, this wasn't free anymore. And so he had to make something immediately to continue his work as an open source tool and provide open source features to his collaborators. Okay, so in 10 days, he's been able to build up this tool, and then he used it for 4 months and lent it to one of his collaborators to maintain. Git has been built up with 3 core principles: data integrity, speed, and as a distributed model. Okay, so you now you don't need to so just have in mind the philosophy of what's happened when Git has been created. Now we are going to jump into a terminal and see what is Git first. So we are not in our studio. We are not going to get into a studio immediately. That would be the second part. For now, we get into our terminal. And I'd like to know, I have a bit of can you put in the chat? I'd like to know if any of you know what is a terminal and what system you got in your, what operating system you use. Can you please put in the chat if you use Mac, Windows, and if you ever use a terminal. Okay, so you have both. You use Linux, yes, of course. Okay. Great. You know what is a terminal? Okay, great. So let's, yes, I use Linux Bash for myself and Windows PowerShell for work. Great. So mostly Windows. Can you open up your terminal? Has anyone issues opening up a terminal on your machine?
Said how to do that. Can you explain?
Yes. So you have Mawa, right? Can you unmute yourself?
Yes,
Okay. Hello. So do you use Windows?
I use Windows.
Okay. So you need to use this Windows PowerShell. I'm sure if you can type on Google, open up terminal in Windows, it's gonna tell you exactly how to open up the terminal. Is there anyone else needs help on opening up the terminal? Let me see. Can you Google it, Raffaella? How to open up a terminal on Windows?
Yeah, it's pretty easy. Basically, in this part of the screen, you have R and Google, Zotero, all of this. And very across the side, there is the search space, and you can write terminal, and then it's that. It's very easy.
Okay, so the search bar, and then type terminal, and it should open it. Prompt the screen. Or there is a shortcut. Okay. Yeah. All right. So I assume that everyone has a terminal open on top of the screen. Let's go forward. So a bit of background elements. Our studio uses Git under the hood via bash. So what is bash? What is terminal? What is many things? So basically, imagine that this one here is a terminal, okay, that you have open in your machine, right? Some of you already know those things and everything. Just very briefly, because we are a community with different backgrounds and things. So this is a terminal, and that terminal has a shell. Okay, a shell is what lets you a collection of commands that lets you communicate directly through the terminal with your operating system. So not using apps or things, but you get inside immediately inside the machine. Okay, so this we talk about bash, because bash is what is used on Linux, and that was like used within Macintosh, not Windows. That was PowerShell, but now, for example, on Mac we have Zesh. Okay, but exactly the same. It's just a little improvements within commands, but they're quite the same. So what is this? Is a command line interface to interact with your operating system. Let's get into terminal. Right. So as you can see, here I have this Zesh. Okay, Zesh is bash, or Zesh is the upgraded version of bash. Okay, so basically it says I can communicate with my machine. So here I can use Git. Okay, let's see what is my, you can type with me present working directory and hit enter. So now I am on user in my machine. I move on desktop, and now, as you can see, my present working directory is desktop. Okay, if I do list ls, I list all the things that I have on my desktop. Obviously, I collected everything and put everything inside this bank folder just to have a bit the things a bit clear. But if I do ls minus, okay, and a, I'm gonna dig in it and see if there's any hidden files. Okay, so as you can see, I am on Mac. Okay, there are some files that start with a dot. And so we are basically, they are hidden. So you cannot see it if you open in your finders, your search, your folder and things. So you need to go inside that. Within our studio, there is an option for looking at hidden files, and we'll see that later. So it's everyone on this page. Can you please give me a thumb up or things so I can have an idea that you are on my page? Yeah?
No.
Okay.
My path is saying it's not possible to search your path because they don't exist.
My path? Okay.
My path.
Okay. So did you do present working directory?
Yeah.
And now
Just it's the word path.
Okay. You are on Windows or Mac?
Windows.
Okay. Lucy, you are muted. Okay.
I'm getting the same thing. For me, it's saying on Windows, ls-a doesn't like it. The parameter a is ambiguous, but it's saying I could write minus attributes, minus directory, minus file, minus
Okay, it
hidden,
gives you
or
various.
minus read only, or minus system.
What's happen if you type bash and hit enter?
It doesn't like it.
The term bash, it's not
Mhm.
recognized as the name, function, file, or program.
Okay. Can you Google it and say how to use bash or on Windows? That is.
But I figured out how to do the list the files that are hidden on Windows. So if you do, rather than ls minus a, you do ls and then minus hidden.
Okay, just ls and minus.
Minus hidden. Yeah, you
Oh,
need to write
minus.
all of the word hidden. Yeah.
Okay. So this is because I'm using a Mac. Okay, I'm gonna clear this. Okay, so for Windows, let's put that in the chat. What is the command for looking at hidden files on Windows?
Yep, that's there in the chat. ls minus hidden.
Okay, and there. Okay, so now what we do is creating a GitHub project. So basically, what's happened is that GitHub potentially allows you to create a backup of all your files in your computer. Or if you focus on just one folder with some other folders inside that you really take care of it, and you mind any amendment or things, so you're scared that things might change it, and or you might delete something accidentally and things, it is possible with Git locally in your computer to create a sort of backup machine that allows you to record anything you do inside this folder, and then go back if you made any errors and you want to amend them. So let's like Git do this. Let me know if you can do it on Windows as well. Git init and name this repository as a test test Git. Okay, so hit enter. Now let me know if you are okay with that. Yeah, something in the chat. Yeah. So now, as you can see, Raffaella, can have you been able to do that? No? Why not?
I am trying to understand.
But can you?
I don't know, it's not working again. I don't know if I need to download other thing from Windows. I don't know. But the term Git, it's not recognized. The same thing, function, file, program. I will see the chat. Mara, it's the same thing. And Bianca sent a link. Let me see.
Okay.
For me, it's on Windows, it's okay. So when I typed in git init test git, it said initialized empty git repository in C dot, colon, and then it gave me the location. So I'm inside desktop. It's made a folder called test kit, I think. And then it says .git.
Okay.
And
So,
so now when I do ls to list the files that are in the desktop, then test git is coming up as a new thing that's there.
okay. So, but you, Lucy, do you have a a Git configuration on your machine already? Yeah.
Yes, I think I do.
Okay. So there is something that you might need to do. It is a configuration. So you need to type Git, maybe because usually, Raffaella, you can open up RStudio and use the terminal in RStudio, the RStudio terminal.
How can I do that?
Okay, I show you. If I share my RStudio. Okay, this is RStudio. As you can see, there is a console and a terminal. So the terminal here is exactly the same. If I do echo shell, it says I'm using Jess. I don't know how to pronounce that, but you should have that, the same one, the same thing. If you do echo $, shell in capital letter, what does it say? Okay, Bianca said you need to install Git for Windows. Yeah, why I'm not sharing my screen.
I can see your screen.
Okay. So while you are setting up, so I keep talking, then we'll go back again. Okay, so now I am on terminal in our studio, which is exactly the same. If I do LSA, it lists all the things that I have on my working directory. Present working directory in here is document R. So I should go back to documents and then so on and so forth. So I go back to but I can potentially you can use this one. But for now, I go back to the main terminal because we are not imagine that we are locally on our computer. Okay, so now I hope everyone has Git install in the machine. Okay, and so we can see that now we have initialized an empty Git repository. We check the hidden files and we have a test Git. Okay, so now the next step is to position ourselves inside the test Git. So in Macintosh, I do CD, current directory. You do, what do you do, Lucy? You do something for
But
the,
same thing.
oh,
CD
same things. Okay,
test git.
so test Git. And now we are inside test Git. If I do Git status, it says that I am on main branch, on branch main. There is no commit yet, nothing to commit. And if I check what's inside, it's empty. So if you look at this folder in your machine, you find nothing, it's empty. But what about hidden files? You find this .git. In RStudio, you can see inside, because this is a folder and there are other things. If I do 3, okay, this is another, just, you don't have that. This is a program that you install and allows you to see the tree of your project, okay? So you need to add these other elements, but you then receive all commands. For now, just trust me. It's just to show you what inside this .git folder, which is hidden, but we have discovered with this -a or minus hidden for Windows. But you can see that there are more things. Basically, what this serves as a recording machine. It does record any changes that you make, and you make these changes through commits.
Federica,
Yes,
I'm
Raffaella.
sorry. I am installing the Git
Okay.
setup, and I want to ask you some questions. In adjusting your path environment, I need to use Git from Git bash only, or Git from the command line and also from the third-party software.
Let's see if anyone who use Windows has a good suggestion for Raffaella. I would suggest use Bash, but does anyone who uses Windows?
So I use Windows, so I have issues of like initiating this Git and it test Git, so it's giving me an error. Git is not recognized, but when I install the Git from like online and I'm using Bash, it's working. And I don't
Okay,
know
so
why.
try Bash only.
It's working in Bash. Like when I initiated this test Git, it's working for me.
Okay, great.
So
So
what is the
yeah,
bash? Like what is because the terminal has Windows PowerShell, and so what is the difference?
yes. So the difference is just they are sort of different commands, but they all the same thing. So they are command line interfaces that allows you to communicate with your operating system. The difference between them is the operating system. And so as the operating system changes, you have this shell that takes different names such as Bash, Zesh, or PowerShell that communicates with your operating system. So they have slightly different type of commands. Yeah. So did you, Marva, I just wanted to know if you've been able to initiate the project test git with using git init test git.
Yes, I did it in the bash.
Okay, Bash, great. So, for example, just for a curiosity, no, I am now on dash the command for bash and just exactly the same. Okay, so let's go forward. So now we have this git folder. Okay, let's imagine that we add a file. Okay, you can just create a file manually and put it inside the folder. Okay, or you can create a folder. There are a couple of ways to do this. In this so I can use, for example, touch. I don't want to add many things. I use this to create a folder, sorry, a file, a text file from the terminal, but you can just create a text file and put it inside the test Git folder. It's up to you. It doesn't matter. I do not go out from here. So if I do touch test.txt, okay, I have now created a folder. Sorry, a text file and put it inside the test Git folder. In fact, if I do LSA, now we have the test file inside. Okay, now if you open up the file, there is nothing in it. Okay, I need to open it. Okay, if I want to open it through the terminal, I can use different type of editors. I can use Nano. This is an editor, such as, RStudio. Okay, so it's an editor. Okay, it's a program that allows you to get inside a file and make modification. Okay, or I can use VIM. They have different commands. It doesn't matter. Or you can just open the file yourself, add things inside. Okay, so I open Nano. I use Nano, and I now have my test.txt file open in my terminal. I can add things inside. This file is a test file to make modification and record changes with Git. Okay.
Okay, Federica, I don't know if other people are having problems with the Windows version of this, but
Yeah.
the touch command didn't work for me.
Okay.
But on Windows, it's NI for new item, and then you can type in the file dot
Okay.
txt. So I'll just write that in the
Yes, please.
chat.
In the chat,
Yeah.
or otherwise you can just create a file, a text file manually in your machine, create a text file and put it inside the test Git folder manually, not through the terminal. It's exactly the same. Okay, so now if I do Control X and then hit enter. Okay. Okay. I have exited the test file. So let me go out, share my screen. Let me see. So you should now, if I do again Nano, I can see what's inside. Okay. So, and here you can see how to exit. Control X. Okay. And you exit. You should have that information if you do that. Okay. So now let me see Git status. It says, you see, if I do now Git status, what is said, there is no commit yet, but there are untracked files. Okay, so there is a new file that we added, but it is still untracked. So to track all the things that I'm doing already, I need to stage to stage this file. To stage this file, I need to git add and the name of the file if you are staging a particular file, or just a dot if you want to stage everything inside the folder. For now, we just do the dot because we have just one file and things. So let's see again git status. Now, as you can see, no commit yet. We are on this branch main, and this should like ring something in your mind and say, what is branch? Because we can have more branches. Okay, so for now, we have just one branch. We are in May. And this new file is tracked and so staged. Okay, eventually, in case not you made it wrong, you did something wrong, you can go back and you have some suggestion here, some commands that you can use to go back. Okay, so this is this staging step is something that you don't do in a studio. Okay, this first part it's very important because then when we jump into our studio and we have all toggles or things that we can use GitHub with, everything is going to be slightly clearer. Okay, so you don't stage in our studio because it's automatically assigning to a bucket that stages the things. But now in terminal, we need to stage, so add what we did it into GitHub and then commit. So basically the commit is the snapshot part. So we are now recording firmly what we done and save it. Okay, so we do git commit. If we just hit enter, it opens up the editor that I showed you before. So to avoid this getting inside the editor, we can just do -m, and this means send me a message, and this is the commit message. So you are basically adding the commit message from the terminal without getting inside the editor that I showed you before. Okay, so let's say first commit, and we can be even more slightly specific, like added test.txt file. You can write whatever you think is the more specific you are. If you are working with a team, it's better. And even if for you, in case you want to go back, you have some registration of what you've done. So just git commit message and your commit message. Is there anything in the chat that I haven't looked at? Yeah, all good. Raffaela? Okay, so let's go forward and hit enter. Now, what's happened is that one file changed with one insertion. So we added some things inside the file. And this is the mode created for the commit. So let's see git status. Nothing to commit because we have done it. Git. Now we use a new command, which shows us the unique number of the commit. So we use the log, git log. If we do git log, it shows us the unique long number for the commit. Okay, so now if I do git log and then dash dash one line, you see that this very first part of the long commit number is called SHA. So the SHA. This one is what allowed you to make changes to your commit. Okay. So any questions? Let's see what's happening if we do git diff. Nothing should happen because now there is no different. We haven't done it before, so we haven't seen it. So let's make more changes. Okay, let's get into Nano. For me, you can just open it up, the text file, and make changes, whatever you think is fine. And now I add more text in it. And again, this time I use write out, Control O, and then Control X to exit. Now Nano as a so Nano, I call it Nano. Now our text file as an addition. Okay, so let's do. We haven't staged it yet. Okay, so let's repeat all our command. Git diff. Now we can use git diff, and it says that file which had this first sentence has been added another sentence. Okay, you can see it clearly, and so we haven't git status. You can see that this is modified, but not staged. So we do git add, and now git status, and now you see that has been staged. Now we can commit. Let's go back. If you do the arrow up, it goes back, and I delete this one and say second commit, added some extra text. Okay, so now if we do git log, we have two commits. You see, if you do git log dash one line, one line, we can see the two code that we can use to make a modification of our commit. Okay, so for now, I'll stop here. I don't play with making changes to the commit. For now, what we have seen it. It's just basically how we record all the things that we do. And because there is much more. Let's I stop sharing for a minute. Okay. And I'd like you to tell me if you have any questions, and at what point are you at the moment? If you Yeah. Hello.
Yeah, I have a comment. For Windows, I use both Mac and Windows environment for for the version control. What I felt like using RStudio, if we usually work in projects like RStudio projects, right? Like and so if we click on Git initialize during the time we open the project, it takes us past through all the nuances of Windows and Linux already had the Git initialized. So every Git command automatically starts working in that particular
Exactly.
folder since Git is initialized. Because I found that the initializing part of Git is a bit more distance between Windows, Mac, and Linux. So once we create that, we're going to create project anyway during the studio thing. So if we initialize the Git from the get-go, so then we can follow all these steps, I mean, more seamlessly. That's just my experience I wanted to share. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. That's the next step. So I show you what's gonna happen now. So basically, you should be able to see my screen. Oopsie. So this is what we saw. Basic commands: git status, git init, git add, git commit, git log. These are very basic. We are not online. We are local on our machine. We want to create a backup of our folder. We are not going outside and have something else. So this is good because you eventually you could back up your machine. And by experience, in our studio, it might happen that you need to be able to manage this simple commands for solving issues that might arise and you don't even realize why. So now that we have, if you like to take a pause, thanks, please give me a thumb up, or we just go forward, whatever you think is you feel is right. Do you want to take a pause or we go forward? If you want to take a pause, give me a thumb up. Otherwise, I go forward. Okay. Why I don't see... Okay. Okay. So, what's happened is basically you have this you started with this file. Okay, let's say it's a text file, it's a code list, whatever it is, and then you made an addition. This addition goes at the bottom of the previous things, but you take like a snapshot, a picture, so of each stage, of each modification that you make on your files. And this allows you Git allows you to record this addition, these changes, this amendment with a unique long code name. And in case you want to go back anytime in time and revert to a previous situation, you can do that. Thank you very much. Okay, so this is a sort of philosophical mind that allows the creation of this very useful tool. And in the meantime, along the way, along these 20 years, 21 years, is now the most useful one, used one. And don't forget that it is open source and beginner friendly. So what do you need is you don't need to memorize commands. You don't need to understand everything. You don't need to use Git perfectly. Just stay focused, and practice. So now, as our friends have said, we do projects in a studio. We want to connect the initialization, so Git init, it's automatically done within a studio. And now we see why these things happen. So we use GitHub. What is GitHub? Can you tell me if, I assume that you have an account on GitHub. Is that all of you have an account on GitHub? Who does not have an account on GitHub?
Nobody is owning up so far.
So I assume that you all have a GitHub account. Hopefully, yeah. So what is GitHub? GitHub is why I should need GitHub? Okay, if Git already tracks my work, why I do need GitHub? Okay, GitHub has been created in 2008. That was started as a startup. Okay, and as well as because of some needs. So basically, they created this cloud-based platform that hosts all Git's repositories. You can download this in your machine, and so you can collect all your Git projects within this app in your machine, or you can. I find it very useful to have it online. Okay, and then I show you why. So it's important when you use it locally, because just to identify yourself, so it is you that made that commit, it is you, okay, but it's not that useful if you are just using your machine. Okay, but when you get over to GitHub, so you are online and you use our studio, it's very important that you configure Git in your machine. So the things that you need to do is type git config -- global username, and here you put your full name and surname, because this is identify you, and this is for your safety. And then you do git config -- global user email, and this is the email that you use on GitHub. Okay, so don't do git init, because for now it's not needed, but make sure that you have configured Git in your machine. You can even use our studio terminal if you use that. Can you please do git config -- global username and -- global user email? Please let me know if anyone needs help, and give me a thumb up if all of you have this configuration done in your machine. Okay, I don't see any thumb ups. You can do it on Terminal. You can do it on Terminal Studio. Okay. Trust me that these are very important steps, and you will see. Check if you're already done. Okay. Okay, so these are the commands that we are going to see now. Let me know if you need any extra additions. And so let's jump into our studio. And have a look at what's happening here. So what I need is also a GitHub account, okay? So I need an extra page to share. Okay, so now you should be able to see my GitHub. Can I have a thumb up so you see my GitHub? Okay, so this is GitHub. I assume that you have a GitHub account. Okay, so there are a few things that you need to connect your RStudio with GitHub. Okay, one way is to go to your profile, then settings, and then you scroll down to developer settings and personal access tokens and token classic. So here I have created like a sort of a list. You can just click here and generate a new token. The new token classic is fine. So then it gives you a long number and you go back to RStudio, and there are various ways to do this. I have this .renviron file in my home directory. So you can edit this renviron file and add your code in there. And so you will be able to connect GitHub once you have configured with git config and saved the token in your RStudio. Okay, the token is basically allows you to use the API that connect GitHub to RStudio. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is creating a new repository. Okay, so before we saw that by tapping commands on terminal. Here I'm creating a GitHub repository. I call it test git as well. And I say this is a test repo for learning Git. And then I choose private because it doesn't need to be public. And then I create a repository. So this is what's happened. Okay. There is something in this. I'm wondering, for example, what if I added a data in my project and I've pushed to GitHub. Now I have then pushed other things and I'm now done with the project. However, I now want to delete the data since I have sensitive info. You can delete, you can merge a commit to other commits. You can go back to previous commits and then merge the commit, so it's you don't see it anymore. But it's all recorded, and you need to confirm a couple of times that you are sure to do that. But we see. So I created this repository. Okay, you cannot see anything. Are you can you do that as well in your GitHub account? Okay, so how to connect RStudio with the token. You there are a couple of packages. I suggest you to Google it a bit because I'm now going forward, but there is a Git. I show you. There is a Git. You can use various R packages. You can just use this. You can use Git, cred. But if you Google it, you can find that easily. But the most important thing is that you need to put that long number inside the environment. So this file here, the environment, I don't open it because I have all my codes in there, but you need to put that long number in there. But let's have a look. If I do this in the chat, and I just say, I also wanted to show you very briefly that on GitHub, okay, if I open up GitHub again, sorry, ChatGPT, GitHub again, you see that GitHub now has a fantastic tool. Obviously, there is an AI tool here as well, which is called Copilot. Okay, you can ask anything. Okay, and it is free, for very little request. Then it's like if you want to subscribe, it's 10 euros a month. So it is very good. It is very good. So now I have created this GitHub account and create a repository, and I want to connect it with RStudio. Okay, so what I do is create a new project, and I might need to check this tab tool in RStudio and then global option, and make sure I have Git here. As you can see, you don't need to have that because this is an addition that I made, but make sure you have this enabled version control interface for RStudio projects. Okay, so I can create a new project and then select version control, then Git, and here what I'm gonna put is the URL of the repository that I just created. Okay, and then just select this test Git and put it inside. Now I will create it in this folder, but you can like browse and create it whatever you think is fine. And now gonna switch this our studio session to a new session. And as you can see here, I am inside a project and I have these few files, Git in your and test Git project. So this is my project. If you remember, if you recall what I said before, I said in RStudio it's easy to see hidden files. In fact, if you just click this gear here and show hidden files, you see that now we have this Git folder. So as our friend said, we don't need to initiate a Git repository because we already done it. So we done it creating this repository in RStudio, and then in here. I can even have a look inside. I don't know if you remember the tree of the project that I've shown you before. Now here we can just see, and we can even go inside and see there's many things. These are all like instructions that are used to manage your version control system. Okay, so now I'm gonna hide those files, and this is RStudio. Okay, so you see there is a Git tab. Okay, and as you can see, I don't have these arrows up and down highlighted, so I cannot pull or push. What that means? So the philosophy here is to have an online repository with some files and things, and then that stays there, and then manage this from your local computer. Okay, so you manage files here, make analysis, make changes, and then you push your files to your online repository. Then if you have collaborations, you can make changes and things, and so you can then pull down information. But for now, I cannot, you see, I'm in this stuck situation. This is still like that. And this is, I don't have the arrows. What I do? So what I need to do is to commit the changes. Okay, so I can click this one, which is git diff. Okay, so this shows me that in green it's all an addition, so those files here have been added but are not committed or recorded. So now by clicking this, I staged them. Okay, and now I'm gonna commit them. First commit. Commit, and now you can do this even if you are not connected to GitHub, because it does allow you to take a screenshot, take a shot of your changes. This is what we did it on terminal. So you committed, it's in there. Okay, it's all saved. You cannot see it, but eventually you can use the terminal and say git status. And you have some things. Now it's all things, git log, and see the things that you done. This is a commit. Okay, and at the same time, you haven't pushed it yet. So you didn't send those things to the repository. Even if I reload, we are still on this page. But at the same time, the arrows here can now be used. So if I pull down, nothing happened. I am connected, you see? But what I need to do, I need to push those things. And now, this is an important thing. So anytime you make something, you pass from the head to the main. The head is a situation in which you use the head. So you are deciding what to do, and then you go to main. Okay, so if I go to GitHub now and reload, I push it, no? So send it to GitHub. If I go to GitHub, can you, I'm not checking if you see that I'm switching between things. If I reload, you see that now I have the files in my test Git that I had in my RStudio. Okay. Yeah, is there anything in the chat? I think you all left me because it's 20 past.
There's a question.
Yeah.
Can we see how you configured your .r environment with the token?
Yeah, there is a GitHub. You need to write GitHub token. Let me check how to connect a studio with the token. Let's see what it said. What it says. Okay. So we have I showed you how to create a token. So you now have a token. You can use this package, Git creds, and you need to go to RStudio and install packages Git creds if you don't have it. And then you do Git cred set, this thing. Then there is another option, another package. You can use this. And basically what does is position it. This when it asks, you paste the long number and it puts inside the environ file. Okay. And then when you open it back, you see there is written like GitHub path, all in capital letter. Okay, you'll see that. Okay, so now this is something else that we can see in RStudio. We have the branch. Okay, we are on branch main, but we can create more branches if we want. Okay, if I create a new branch, I call it branch first. Now, what it's doing is switching me to a new branch. Okay, now I have branch first. In branch first, this is a new branch. So basically you can have completely different things between stuff, but your main branch is main. But here you can do other things such as adding a file, test script, and here add some this is my first script, and you do oopsie, let's Copilot suggest us print a log. Okay, just save it and close it. Now you can see that you have your test script here. Let's have a look at what's gonna happen here. You have everything recorded in this Git tab. As well, you can use the terminal as we did it before. Git log, and you see now said that you had to branch first. Okay, you have git diff that doesn't show anything, but because I need to stage this and then see the difference, what I did it, and commit. Add a .r file with some code. And I commit this and close. Then I am on branch first. Okay, I push it. Now the add went to branch first. Let's see what's happening in
Sorry, we are seeing your RStudio. Now we're on your GitHub page. So
now,
I think that we stayed on your RStudio as you were showing, doing, typing in the commit message and so on.
so you haven't seen what I did inside the file?
Yeah. So we saw you change the file, and while we're here, somebody is asking, is the token, configuring the token, something you only do once?
Yes, only once.
Right. Okay, so could you make another change to the YAR file? So maybe a new print
Yes.
word. Can you make a new, like, do some more words?
Yes, but before to do yes, before to do that, I need to, because I already, basically what I did it was just to commit. I committed. Okay. Just as the same as I did it before with these two files. I just click commit and let me see if I do git. Now there is nothing to commit. My working tree is clean because I already committed this file. I haven't made any other changes. Git. I can even show you nothing because what I'm showing you is that this addition, I made it through a new branch, which is different from the main branch. Okay, and when you do this for many reasons, because you might have a collaborator, because you might want to have saved a version and then make manipulation to another branch, see how it looks, and then finally decide to push it. So now, as you can see, the branch first has been highlighted here and said the new branch has recently pushed it 2 seconds ago. So you need to compare and pull the request. Then you will be brought to this is the commit message. You can, in case you might want to change it or specify a bit more, or just accept it as is. As you can see, it shows that a file is a test script.r, and this is what inside. And you can just create a pull request. Okay, so now you have accepted the changes on the main branch. Okay, no conflict, and you merge the pull request, and it's a series of confirmations. Okay, imagine that you are working you are in teamwork, and someone else has created another branch and send you some files, extra files. You can double check everything, and and in case specify things a bit more. In this case, we accept it, so it's all good. Okay. And now, if I go back to test Git, I have two branches, which I haven't before. I have main branch and branch first. Okay. And here, you can see that it's now all updated. So I am in main, and I have the new file in it. I can move to branches, to branch first, which is exactly the same, but it could be have been different. Okay. Now, if I go back to R, nothing changed here. If I pull, it's all updated. This is this bit is very important. Okay, because on GitHub, main is updated. Okay, if I switch to main, you see? So I close this. You switch it, and it says your branch is behind. So even if my GitHub is updated, and I can see that in main, this is not what's happening in my RStudio. So I need to pull and update my main branch. Okay, so now I received this file, which is nice. Ooh, print hello. Okay, let's add a few more things. End of the script. This is not the end of the script. Print the second line. Okay, that's it. I save it. Now you can see I am on May, and this is what changed. If I click diff, can you see this one? Maybe it's this that you couldn't see it. Can let me see if I can see it. Okay, so this is what you couldn't see, but if I share that, okay, you should now be able to see it. So what I did it is basically I clicking the diff, and it pops up the commit window, and I can see that this is in red what it was before, and in green what it is now. So I need to stage the file, which I was doing with git add, and then add some extra text and commit. Okay, now I'm making changing from the main, and I push it. Okay, so the add is main.
We're not seeing this other window. We only see RStudio.
Uh-oh. Why is that? I would just... Okay, so now what I did it here was I wrote a comment and then commit and then push. Okay. So if I go back to GitHub, okay. Now I push it. There is something in the chat. I haven't seen it. Oh, I don't see the other window. Okay. So does it say anything? No, but it said 3 commits. Is everything updated? Let me reload GitHub. 4 commits. 1 minute ago, the message of the commit add some extra text, and this is in main. 4 commits. If I click in here, I can see all my commits, and this is the SHA, so the SHA code that allowed you to use, so that you might need for amending commits. Okay, so let's go back and see what's in branch first. So branch first has just 2 commits, and as you can see here, it says you find this box highlighted when you need to update the branch, and it says the branch is not ahead of the upstream, so no commit yet. Enjoy your day. It's all good, but branch first hasn't got the changes that I've just made to my file. Okay, so if I go back to RStudio and if I just pull, it's all updated, and switch to branch first. Okay, now I am on branch first. Open the test script. There is nothing in it. So branch first hasn't got the change that I made. Okay, so if I do git diff, nothing changed. Git status, your branch is updated to origin branch first. Nothing to commit, working clean. Okay, so we go back here and see that this branch is 2 commit behind main. So you need to update that branch. Okay, so how do you do that? How will you do that? You don't see the window? Anyone? How will you do that to update this branch? So imagine that if you make an addition, change it, then you push it. Okay. Now that you have changes on the cloud and you'd have nothing here, what you do is you pull. Okay, and then he said it's all updated. If you open that up, that is not updated. Okay, anyone knows? Okay, so let's go back to the presentation and yeah. So this is a matter of teamwork, but you sometimes do like teamwork within yourself. I mean, if you make changes and you want to test something, then you might want to try that again. And so branches and commits within repositories are very important. So from a repository A, you use push and pull to exchange things to repository B. And it's a continuous exchange, but everything is recorded. So what we think about is where repository B can be. Okay, this can be in your studio, can be locally in your computer, can be online, can be another computer. So you might want to think about many type of things that you can do. Okay, so just to summarize, as you can see, as we did it before with the git status, git init, git clone. Okay, a git clone, we haven't used it, but we could use it. In our studio, what we did was creating a GitHub project. And so basically in our studio, underneath uses bash with GitHub, this GitHub commands. Okay, and so we saw git add, git commit, and then git push and git pull as well. We haven't used it directly. We can use it in our studio terminal, but we have the arrows up and down, and so makes things easier. This exchanges of local versus remote concept is very important because this create like a sort of bridge within connecting sites when you make changes and you want to record that change. At this purpose, I quickly go back to our studio and show you what's happened if I just disgracefully delete my project because my machine breaks, because I've lost whatever I lost. I get out from here and I will still see the file. So it's better if I close the project before deleting things. But now I lost everything. I have nothing anymore. But if I go to GitHub, my project is still here, all safe, all good, all done. I can just do that back again, create a new project, I can clone. I have many things. I can even do download a zip file of all the things. Download a zip file. If I have the app of the GitHub on my desktop, I can open up these things on my desktop again. It's all will be in there. So I'm safe. This is very important. This is what makes life easier and allows you to keep going forward, doing the things, and allows you collaborate and exchange with your collaborators and track all things. Okay, so Teamworks, this is a key for version control. And, now 94% of developers use Git, and it is very important to be able to use it properly. So allows you to modify, stage, and commit. We know what is that. Modify, stage, and commit. And now pull from the remote, so from GitHub. Push from local to GitHub and check for other things. For now, we don't have much time to do everything, but I warmly suggest you to get into GitHub and query Copilot. Copilot is amazing, tells you everything. So version control is a superpower that empowers you to track, collaborate, and innovate endlessly. You have all resources here, and I'll post everything, provide you everything with all code that we did it, as long as with the recording. I understand that maybe that was a bit too much, but this was a kickoff. For experience, it's important to know the basic commands, because when even if you are in a studio, Python, VS Code, whatever, and you use the toggles, arrows up and down, will be always a minute when you need to use the command, and if you know that, you will be safe. Thank you very much. I don't know if there's any questions. I'll be happy to answer them. Please feel free to contact us, send us a message if you have any other questions or things. If you have any suggestions for our future tutorials or meetings. Obviously, I wanted to show you more, but it's not that easy all in one go. So we thank you very much for joining us today. You soon will receive an email with the recording and all materials. There is a bit of difficulties when we have different levels, and so please feel free to ask us if you want to more focused tutorials on specific things. And don't forget to follow us on our next event that will be on the 16th of February, and it's gonna be fun. So more info soon. Thank you very much. Please follow us. That help us a lot. That keep us going. Follow us. We are everywhere within the social networks, and so you find that easily. Just type Our Ladies Room, And thank you very much. Hope you find it useful. And play with it, play with Git. An unpleasant person.